Samantha was home alone, scrolling through her phone like it was any other night. But something felt off. The air was too still, the kind of stillness that creeps up on you when you're not expecting it. Then her phone buzzed. It was a call from her mom. At least that's what it said. Samantha thought, maybe it's just a check-in. But the voice on the other end, it wasn't what she expected. The voice came through too calm for someone who's supposed to be out of town. "Hey Sam, how's everything?" her mom said, but something about it didn't sit right. Samantha froze for a second. Something was off. Her mom had been away for 2 days. "Wait, Mom, where are you?" she asked, her voice shaky. Then the voice said something that shattered her calm. "I saw what you did today." Samantha's heart skipped. How could she know that? She was home alone in her small apartment in downtown Toronto, just scrolling through her phone. Nothing out of the ordinary. The voice kept going, rattling off details. The coffee she had, the book she was reading, things only her mom should have known. "Mom?" Samantha whispered, but it sounded wrong. The voice just laughed, cold and distant, like it wasn't her mom at all. Panic set in. Her pulse was pounding in her ears as she slammed the phone down, trying to shake it off. But then, the phone rang again. She picked it up, her hands shaking now. But when she heard the voice again, it was even colder, even more distant. The voice on the other end started telling her things no one else should know. The color of her shoes, the way she moved in the morning. It felt like someone was watching her, knowing her every move. She hung up again, feeling like she was losing her mind. But then she called her real mom, just to confirm. "Mom," she asked, voice breaking, "is that you on the phone?" "No, sweetie, I've been in meetings all day." Her heart dropped. How was this person doing this? The voice wasn't just mimicking her mom. It was copying her mannerisms, her tone. It felt like whoever was on the other end knew her. Not just her mom, but everything about her life. And that's when it hit her. Whoever was on the other end of that phone call must have been closely connected to her family. Someone who knew far too much about their lives. Someone who was watching them from way too close. Her blood ran cold. She realized the call wasn't just a prank, it was something much darker. Someone was out there, close enough to know everything about her, and she couldn't shake the feeling that whoever it was might still be watching her now. So I met Rachel a while back at a coffee shop in downtown. We'd known each other casually, but she didn't know I had a YouTube channel. One afternoon, we started talking, and out of nowhere, she just started sharing this terrifying experience she'd been keeping to herself for years. Rachel told me she'd never shared it publicly, but after I asked, she gave me permission to post it online. So let me tell you her story, just exactly how she told it to me. It was around 9:30 p.m. one night. I was alone at home just finishing up some work. The house was unusually quiet, the kind of quiet that feels like something is about to happen. Then I heard it, a knock at the door. At first, I thought it was just a neighbor or maybe even a delivery guy. But when I checked the peephole, there was no one there. I opened the door just a crack, and there she was, a woman I didn't recognize standing right there. She had short, dark hair and was wearing a long, worn-out coat. I couldn't remember ever seeing her before. She didn't say anything at first. She just stared at me, almost like she was waiting for me to speak. Finally, I asked her, "Can I help you?" She said, "Is this the Smith residence?" But the thing is, I knew I didn't live in a Smith house, and I told her that. I thought maybe she had the wrong address, but then she said something that made my stomach drop. "I'm sure this is the place I need to be." I told her again it wasn't. I was trying to be polite, but something about her felt off. And as I went to close the door, she put her hand on it to stop me. She looked at me, dead in the eyes, and asked, "Can I come in for just a second? I need to talk to you." That was when the air turned cold. I was already feeling uneasy, and when she said that, it was like something clicked. Like I had to get her out of it. I told her, "No, I can't help you." But she didn't move. She just stood there, staring at me, almost like I was the one who was acting strange. Then she leaned in a little and said, "I know what you've been doing." That sent a cold rush through me. "What do you mean?" I thought, but I couldn't say it out loud. Her eyes were almost glowing, like she was looking right through me. I started to panic. She wasn't leaving. I was so scared, I started backing up, trying to shut the door for good. But as I did, she just looked down, then up at me and smiled. But not in a friendly way. It was that cold, unnatural smile that made my skin crawl. And then she said it. "I know what you've been hiding." That was it. I slammed the door shut and locked it. My heart was racing and I was sweating. But I told myself maybe I was just overreacting. I felt stupid for even being scared. I went to bed that night, still shaken but trying to brush it off. The next morning, I checked the security footage just to make sure I wasn't losing my mind. But when I looked at the video, there was nothing. I checked it again, but there was no footage of her, nothing at all. The cameras didn't even pick her up. I thought I was losing my mind. That's when I realized, whoever she was, she must have been connected to me and my family. She knew things that only people close to me could know. I still can't figure out who she was, but I'll tell you this. I haven't felt safe in my own home since that night. Let me tell you something that happened to a friend of mine, Sophie. She's one of those people who's always been careful about who she shares her number with, never really gets involved with unknown texts. But one night, something happened that she just couldn't explain. And trust me, this one's going to give you chills. It started like any regular night. Sophie was lounging on the couch, texting a friend, just relaxing after a long day. Then, her phone buzzed. It was a text from an unknown number. She opened it expecting something random, maybe a marketing message or a spam email. But the message wasn't some random nonsense. It just said, "I know where you live." She thought it was a prank at first, a joke maybe from one of her friends. But the strange part was, no one she knew had her new number. Then, things started to get weird. The next text came in just a few minutes later. This time, it was more specific. "I'm watching you right now," it said. Her heart skipped a beat. Sophie looked around, but nothing seemed out of place. She shook it off. Just some weird prankster, right? But the message wasn't done. "I can see you through the window." That was the next one. Her blood ran cold. Sophie rushed to the window, but there was no one outside. She checked the locks on all the doors. Everything seemed fine, but something didn't sit right. The next few hours felt like a living nightmare. The texts kept coming, each one more disturbing than the last. "I'm standing outside your door now." Her phone wouldn't stop buzzing. The final text she got made her freeze in her tracks. "I'm inside your house." She quickly ran to her security cameras. Nothing. The house was still locked. No signs of anyone entering. But when she checked the footage from earlier, she saw something that made her feel sick, a shadow by her window. But no one was there now. The feeling of being watched was undeniable. After that night, Sophie didn't sleep for days. She changed her phone number, but the texts didn't stop. They came from new numbers, each one more sinister than the last. It was like someone out there knew everything about her routine, where she lived, and even where she sat in her own house. And that's the thing. Whoever was sending those texts, they were too close, too familiar with her life. Sophie still doesn't know who it was, but she'll never forget the fear she felt that night, knowing someone out there knew everything about her.